Back here for the fourth quarter. It's become a very nice day today weather-wise, but for McDaniel fans, not nice at all as they trail by 10 entering the fourth quarter. Brian McLean and Ross Burbidge, again, will be on hand Tuesday night. Ross will be on the field wearing the stripes. Dave Trumbo and I at Francis Scott Key High School for the Key Eagles and the Westminster Owls on April 22nd. Future games to be determined following this week. Washington 1 quarter away from the regular season title and hosting next week's conference playoffs as they begin play and they win the opening draw to start the fourth quarter. They work left to right in the final frame. Matt Spiro wins that draw control or that face-off. They work it back to Spivey. Just did a women's game on Tuesday, folks. Bear with me, some of the terminology rattling around the brain. And a great save from Korba as he denies Renner. Outside the crease area, ground ball. Berger lays a hit. That'll be a push and possession for McDaniel. Greg Elko had control of it. And here come the terror. Curtis Schaefer up the field to Colby Cook. 12-2 Washington.
It's an interesting number. That's the shot total. In the second half, Washington College has outshot McDaniel 12-2. Just a dominant performance by the Shoremen.
Yeah, 6 different players have scored, including 4 goals from John Spivey and 3 goals from Steve Berger. They try to find Ellis, but a takeaway here. Again, the defensive effort by those young men for the Shoremen as we have a whistle stopping action.
It was a substitution error. It's a box offense.
Jeremy Shannon had the takeaway. Now fresh bodies coming in for the Shoremen.
Yeah, it's going to be an illegal substitution. Too many men on the field. 30-second infraction.
So the extra man for the Green Terror for 30 seconds, 0 for 3 in that category so far today. A chance here. And McDaniel this year good on 41% of their man-ups.
It's their 4th try today. None of them come to fruition as we speak.
Weaver to Tolge. Tolge to Freed, over to Schaefer. Pete Schaefer gives it up. Schaefer gets it back, puts it on net, and Yost with the save. And it was the second quarter when Yost made the point-blank save. They made him pay quickly the other way. That turned this game around. And since then, it's been all Washington. That time, Berger couldn't corral it. Could have been 2-2 Ross, and instead it became quickly 3-1, and it's been all Shoremen since then.
And you look back at something like that and you say, well, how can Yost, who really wasn't that actively involved in the game in the second quarter, how can he be critical? This game, lacrosse, is such a game of momentum that when you do, it's a 2-goal turnaround. You make an incredible stop, and then you go downfield and score a goal. Instead of a tie game, it's a 2-goal lead, and you're coasting from there.
Delay called on McDaniel. Possession goes back to Washington. Now another whistle will stop action. I believe another substitution problem. And possession back to the Green Terror, so Freed will clear it upfield. Ellis can't handle the pass. And it will go beyond the end line. Possession, Washington.
Ellis probably didn't know what to do. Someone threw a lacrosse ball to him, and there weren't black shirts on each side of his peripheral vision.
It's been that way all day. Joe has been handled defensively by Washington today.
Well, he sees black on the left, black on the right. If you look at his shoulders, they're black and blue. He's just got to hate that color.
Shoreman by 10. Dial gives it up to Spivey. They work it back around the perimeter. Vane has it far side. 1 goal for him today. Out to Early on the top of the area, top of the key area. He has 1 goal as well. Dial on the wing. Vane left side. Passes behind. Gives it up to Berger, who goes out for a cutter. That's Edwards. Edwards' shot is wide left. That's a shot on goal. And possession for the Shoremen.
Even though it was a shot, by going out on the sideline, that makes the situation eligible for guaranteed substitution. Official with his arms raised. Horn goes. Full substitution.
Berger on the far side. Passes back to Early, who will find Dial. Stolzenberg defends. 11:37 to go. Early slides, shoots, and scores. Holy cow. Craig Early with another rocket shot. His seventh today, his second today, his seventh of the season. And the Shoremen lead by 11 on a blast from Craig Early.
Great field presence by Early. He sort of had an idea where he was. It was a no-look shot, but he gets the spin, gets nice extension with the arm, the elbow, and he nails the corner.
11:27 to play. The fifth-ranked Shoremen, who will probably climb a notch or two. With an 11 goal lead, 13-2 here in the fourth quarter. Papafotis and Spiro work the face-off, and McDaniel comes up with it. We get a flag on the near sideline. That was a push. And a man-up opportunity coming up here.
Yeah, push with possession.
Ball comes down the other way. The Green Terror will enjoy a 30-second extra man opportunity. Jeremy Freed will begin the possession.
They've had 4 opportunities so far and have been able to convert. Let's see how they do on the 5th.
Schaefer to Freed out top. In the corner to Tolge, behind to Weaver. Schaefer fakes a shot, gives up to Freed. Alex Tolge has it on the wing. Works it out. Parr was defending at the moment. Saved now by Schaefer. Schaefer to Ellis, who shoots and scores. Joe Ellis, his first today. It's not often you say that. Joe had a couple of goals on Wednesday. Comes up with his 31st of the season to pull his team within 10.
And Joe was well marked. If you look at that pass inside from Schaefer, Ellis, he's got the stick up. Let's count the black shirts. There's 1, 2, all within an arm's length. It's just a question of setting a good target, a quick release, and the field presence to know without really having to set up and aim where that goal is and put it in a corner.
Illegal procedure on the face-off awarded to McDaniel. And give Coach Clark and the coaching staff of Washington a lot of credit as McDaniel calls a timeout. They came in here knowing quite well number 8's presence and what he can do offensively, and they have clamped down on him and have held him just 1 goal and maybe a couple of shots the entire game. And it's been a great game plan against Joe Ellis and McDaniel College. Joe, a quality athlete, went to Oakland Mills High School. He's from Columbia. Of course, an outstanding football player. One of the top receivers on the team the last couple of years. Had the injury his junior season in football, broke a wrist, but has had a fine career at McDaniel College. And of course, it's not over for McDaniel after this game. It's Gettysburg on Tuesday and the playoffs next weekend, in all likelihood in Southern Maryland. So still lots of ball to be played, and it's been a tough day today, Ross, but there's still more work to be done.
It's a difficult road ahead, though, as you look ahead for McDaniel. The last regular season game, Gettysburg, and that's a team that's no slouch. They're a top 10 team. Then you go to your conference tournament where you see some mix of Franklin and Marshall, Gettysburg, Washington College. So you're talking about 3 top 10 teams as your potential opponents. It's not an easy road to get into the NCAA playoffs. What is really going to be difficult if this score stands as it stands now, McDaniel may put itself in a position where it would have to win the conference playoffs to get a berth, and a loss to Gettysburg could be disastrous to getting it as anything but the automatic qualifier.
I think we both felt they had to take 2 of these last 3 and maybe win a game next week in the playoffs to ensure themselves an NCAA bid, but a loss today does put a little cramp on that, and they may be forced to win next weekend, especially if they lose on Tuesday. That'll definitely be the case. They're ranked 13th in the nation. McDaniel 10 wins and no losses entering today's game. Schaefer works it over to Freed. Teams at even strength, 10-10 to play. I don't believe many people thought this kind of game would take place. I think a lot of us felt it was going to be very close and very competitive regardless of who won. Schaefer shoots and is denied by Richard Yost, who has been fantastic today. His save percentage this year is .661. Another one there.
Yeah, I hope Schaefer's not sick. I think Yost would catch his cold.
He's been everywhere today. And the Shoremen can again work some clock here. On the left side, Spivey will pass it up to Berger, who works it back to Early. Or check that Renner. Renner on the right side, along with Morrison. Go for Brewer on the far side, along with Spivey. They'll play catch and work some clock.
McDaniel has no choice but to spread out its offense. They have to go after the ball, down by 10 goals.
Morrison to Spivey to Brewer. Again, they'll just work it around the outside. Renner picked up by Freed. Renner, his pass nearly taken away. Elko got a piece of it. Ground ball in the neutral area and out towards midfield. Still a battle for the ground ball. McDaniel had it briefly with Williston, but it comes right back to Craig Fleetwood. And timeout's called by Washington. So the Shoremen burn a timeout. Both teams have one remaining with 8:30 left in the game. The Shoremen by 10, as you see, 13-3. 4 goals from John Spivey, 3 from Steve Berger, and 2 from Craig Early. Also 2 from Chris Edwards, and 1 apiece from Randy Vane and Ryan Morrison. The McDaniel goals, single tallies for Joe Ellis, Jeremy Freed, and Justin Merson. Ellis is 31st, Freed's 14th, and Merson's 24th this season. Baker Chapel, McDaniel College the place for our college lacrosse action today. Glad you're with us on our tape delayed telecast. And after the Westminster Francis Scott Key game, we'll see how things unfold for the high school lacrosse season. The regionals in a couple of weeks in early May. Westminster boys off to a fine start. Century's girls unbeaten. I'm sure some good stuff coming up for the local high school teams in the coming weeks.
Yeah, Westminster High had a big win in their opening date. They beat C. Milton Wright by 6. C. Milton Wright, somewhat of a nemesis of Westminster in the playoffs in that 4A, 3A bracket.
A couple of years ago, exactly,
yeah.
in the regional finals.
So it's very interesting to see how they'll do. They've won 6 out of 7. They lost to Westfield, Virginia in a tournament. Other than that, they've been extremely successful, and the games really haven't been that close.
Yeah, they've been dominant this year. The one loss, that's true, was outside the county, unbeaten in the county. One loss to the school from Virginia so far. Jim Peters' team having an outstanding campaign. And we'll see them on Tuesday night. Rob Weaver on the wing, defended by Fleetwood, who's had an outstanding game today. Holding Joe Ellis to 1 goal. Mascari gives it up to Katz. Sam Katz on the field now, number 22. He'll pass it up. Ellis has it now behind the cage. 7:45 to play. Mascari slides right, lost the handle, defended by Parr. And Fleetwood outside the box, comes up with the ground ball. Pass at midfield, picked off by the Green Terror and Brad Dara. Dara on the right side. Passes back to Ellis, it goes out to Mascari. He hits the deck after he couldn't quite handle the pass. Back to Fleetwood and company. A moving pick's been called out top.
Yeah, it's an illegal screen, so possession will be changed.
Back to the Green Terror. Rob Weaver gets around one man. A flag comes in. Ball on the field. And a penalty coming up here against the Shoremen.
Well, we heard a nice loud clack. That was stick against helmet. That's why they wear helmets in boys lacrosse. You know, Weaver gets nailed on the noggin. So we'll have our 6th opportunity for McDaniel College to try and get an extra man score.
1 minute advantage after the slash. And the Green Terror 0 for so far today, and the man up. McDaniel 2-0 at home this year. They've been limited with their home games because of Mother Nature. They'll have Gettysburg at home on Tuesday. The Sherman on the road, very effective this year. Not very effective, but competitive, of course. Again, keep in mind their 2 losses at Nazareth and at W and Lee. They're 3-2 on the road this season. Closing in on the 4th road victory of the campaign. Extra man for the Terror for 1 minute. Ellis inside to Weaver, and they just couldn't connect. That was a pass, of course, so a turnover. Of course, Yost was back there anyway. And the Shoremen have possession. The extra man woes for the Terror continue. 6:17 to play. Dial across midfield. Dial lost the handle. Elko had it briefly, now gets it back. And passes upfield to Cook. Numbers for McDaniel if they hurry. Over to Stolzenberg, he'll slide left, give up the pass, and the finish there from Merson. Justin Merson with the goal. His 2nd today, his 25th of the season, and the Terror climb within 9.
That's a page from the Washington College book where you work your unsettled situations. Merson works to get open in the unsettled situation. He goes to his strong right hand, and he just moves towards the goal. Takes advantage of the fact that Yost stepped out of the cage.
Justin Merson scores. Francis Scott Key graduate, native from New Windsor. Scored 15 goals and had 3 assists last season. Papafotis and Spiro worked the face-off. Merson lost his stick. It goes out of bounds.
What that was, if you notice, when Merson lost his stick, he attempted to kick the ball. If you're not holding a stick, it's a legal procedure to involve yourself in a play. That's when the official hit the whistle and awarded the ball to Washington College.
Possession for the Shoremen. Pass upfield to Dial. Cook defending. Morrison now behind the cage. He's defended by Currents. Morrison far side. We'll give it up to Dial. Or rather Vane, excuse me, out to Early. Dial on the right side receives the pass. 5 minutes to play. Terry must attack the ball, and the Shoremen can work clock. Vane slides left, goes low, and scores. Randy Vane, his 2nd today. And the barrage continues. It's 14-4, Washington.
Yeah, Vane showed a little strength. He leans in with that shoulder. That allows him to get 1 step on the defense. Again, a good, hard, left-handed shot. And he goes against the grain. He catches Corba stepping to his right. The ball goes into the corner of the goal to Corba's left.
Back to a 10-goal lead for Washington. 4:50 on the game clock. Papafotis about to work the face-off for McDaniel against Matt Spiro. Spiro from Baltimore went to Boys Latin. He's a junior. Papafotis from Annapolis went to Gunston Day High School. Stolzenberg working for the ground ball. Papafotis in the fray as well. And the ball controlled by the Shoremen. Coming up with it there was Stuart King. Yost up to midfield. Tim Kerr, he'll pass it up. Morrison has it. Dial just outside the restraining box, now goes back in. Stolzenberg defends him. 4 minutes to play. Early crossfield pass to Dial. Dial right side. Gets cut off. Stolzenberg defends, slides right, takes the shot and misfires just a bit as it's wide left. Spivey back there in the corner, so the Shoremen will maintain possession.
They may as well ride this thing out with what they're doing. They're working the ball around the perimeter, looking for a nice one-on-one opportunity. No sense exposing any other special plays that they may need against this McDaniel team at next week's tournament.
No question. Getting a piece of it there, I believe, was the McDaniel goalkeeper, who right now is Greg Reeves. Reeves, the new goalie for the Terror. And he comes out of the cage right now. Lost the handle, could be an opportunity for the Sherman the other way. Edwards comes up with it. And Edwards will back out of the box. Schaefer defends him. And the McDaniel goalie is Greg Reeves, a freshman from Marriottsville. He went to Liberty High School, has 9 saves on the season. He replaces Corbo. Dial will stay in the corner of the box, 2:40 on the game clock.
He's hanging on to the ball because Washington College is changing midfields.
Far side now to King.
We should see a move now. The Shoremen have completed the exchange of midfields.
Fresh faces on the field right now. This is McWilliams, number 46. We'll pass it up to Poison. Rather, Morrison, I beg your pardon. Morrison comes out with it, and we'll pass it back to McWilliams. Ryan Morrison with 1 goal today, a sophomore. And a delay is called. And possession for the Green Terror.
What happens is in the last 2 minutes of a lacrosse contest, the winning team must keep the ball inside the box. The only reason it can leave is if you've taken a shot or if the defending team removes it. So in that particular situation, for not keeping the ball in the offensive box, Washington College loses possession.
Green Terror ball with 1:40 left. Joe Ellis on the wing. Draws double team coverage as he has throughout the entire day. Weaver with a quick stick attempt. Can't connect. Parr helps out his buddy Yost, or actually new keeper there for
Markowitz.
Washington as well. Jesse Markowitz, a senior from Baltimore. He is on the field right now. So Markowitz replacing Yost. 1:10 to go. Sam Lane has it right now. He's behind the goal now on the near side. Washington College Shoremen just working the final seconds now, 47 seconds and counting. As Ross said, they just have to keep it in the restraining box. It's a moot point right now. Craig Early in the corner. 35 seconds and counting. Give the Shoremen a lot of credit. They came here with a lot riding on this game, an important road game for them today, and they trail 1-0 early. It was the only time they trailed in this game. They led 8-1 at the half, and they're 18 seconds away from a 10-goal victory, their 10th win of the season, and the regular season championship, the top seed in the tournament, next weekend down at their place. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Early will work them off. As we come down to the final horn, it's all over at Scott Bear Stadium. Washington College with 2 goals in the first, 6 in the second, 4 in the third, and then 2 more in the fourth quarter. They win handily. 4 goals for John Spivey, 3 for Steve Berger, 2 for Craig Early and Chris Edwards, also 2 for Randy Vane, and 1 for Ryan Morrison. For McDaniel College, 2 goals for Justin Merson, 1 apiece for Jeremy Freed and Joe Ellis. The Sherman now 10-2, 8-0 in the conference. They'll play Salisbury State May 3rd, following the conference playoffs next weekend, April 25th and 27th. McDaniel drops to 10-1 and 6-1 in the conference. They will host Gettysburg this Tuesday and prepare for the conference playoffs as well next weekend in Kent County. Some of the numbers here for the game. The Shoremen outshoot the Green Terror 40-17. And face-offs, we'll get to them in a moment. The goalie saves. Richard Yost had 9 for Washington College, and Mike Corba comes up with 8 saves for the Green Terror. Reeves had 1 as well coming on in relief. And the face-off numbers go to Washington by a margin of 13-9. And man-ups today for the Green Terror, they were 0 for 6. Washington was 0 for 1. No extra man goals this afternoon here at Scott Bear Stadium. Thorough domination, my friend, and I think the Shoremen proved they are indeed, at this point, the top of the class in the Centennial Conference.
Well, you've beaten Franklin and Marshall and Gettysburg in close games. They beat Gettysburg by 1 goal. They beat Franklin and Marshall by 2 goals. But 10-goal victory over McDaniel on the road, just an outstanding performance by Washington. You know, they talk about how in football and basketball, it's very important to be winning games at the right time of the season. If you're going to drop 2, drop the first 2, and then go on a great winning streak. They're 10-2, and this team looks like it's it's headed to hosting the conference tournament, and certainly looks like a playoff contender.
Certainly at the time of the year you want to be playing your best lacrosse, as well as late April looms in Washington. Very, very tough this afternoon. I want to thank Coach Jim Townsend of McDaniel and J.B. Clark of Washington. Many thanks to those gentlemen. Also thanks to Ken Nunnally, Steve Peed, and the staff here at McDaniel College in Westminster. Our next telecast will be Tuesday, April 22nd from Francis Scott Key as the Key Eagles host the Westminster Owls in boys action. For Naoko Funayama, our director Jeff Rich, and my partner Ross Burbage, I'm Brian McLean. Thanks a lot for watching men's lacrosse today at Scott Bear Stadium, as it was all Washington. There's your final, the Shoremen 14, the Green Terror 4. We'll see you later.